Hey people, I'm Tessa and welcome to day 1 of your 5-day beginners challenge. I'm so excited to release these videos. This is going to be a sequence of 5 videos that you can do back to back to back. If you are a beginner and if you're trying to get back into your fitness game, I'm going to be going over lots of form, lots of flexibility, making sure we're getting the complete range of motion to get the maximum benefit of your time working out, right? So today we have 3 different circuits. We have a cardio circuit to get that blood pumping, everything flowing first. Then we have 2 strength circuits, and we're gonna be focusing a lot on form, a lot on flexibility, and it's gonna be good. So it'll be fun. And if you've never worked out with me before, I do not have any music on my workouts. It's on purpose. That way you can listen to your favorite music while you work out with me. If you don't know where to start, I do have a link in my description below. So you can click on that link and it'll take you to my Spotify account, or you can, set your playlist, whatever you like. So, all right. That's all you need. That's all you need to know. So go ahead and get your music set, grab maybe some water, a towel, and let's get started. All right, so like I said, we have 3 different circuits. Our first one is going to be a cardio flexibility round. I'm going to show you the moves first, and then we'll get into it. All right. So the first thing we're going to do is a star step and or jumping jack. So if you're trying not to jump, and you want to keep everything low impact, the star step is your move. So we're going to start in a little mini chair squat. So you want your weight in your heels, your abs are pulling in, so you're activating, squeezing your core, shoulders are down and pulling back. So try your best not to round out your spine, so we're pulling that back. What we're going to do is we're going to transfer from our heels to our toes. So we're going to shift that weight out, bring it center, out, and then bring it center, making sure those arms go all the way up, keeping that arm straight, and then back down, and then repeat, all right? From there, we'll do an inchworm plank, which all we're doing is walking it out onto our hands into a high plank. Once we get to this high plank, I want you to check your form. Your wrist is underneath that shoulder. Your eyes are right in line with your fingertips. Your belly button is pulling in and up. Your hips are tucked under, your thighs are squeezing, and then you're going to walk those hands back in and then reach up at the top. So it's a walk out, walk in, and you're starting to activate that core, shoulders, all that good fun stuff. And then the last move is going to be a side lunge reach. I want your toes pointed forward, your weight to be in your heels. And we're going to just shift our weight side to side. So it's going to be boom, boom. All right? What we're going to do is we're going to sit back into our hips. We're reaching down. We're not going down. So keep that chest open, reach, and then shift, reach to the other side. So we're waking up those hips, and we're also stretching out those inner thighs. All right, it's a lot to think about. I want you to try it with me. Starting in 6 seconds. We've got 30 seconds each move. I want you to take your time, focus on the form. This is round 1, so we're just getting our bodies oiled up. All right, I'm gonna do the star step with you. Think about that weight transfer. So we've got heels, toe, heel, toe. Nice deep breath. Give me one more. All right, now we have an inchworm into our plank. So walking those hands out, pull up and through that core, and then walk your hands right back in. Try your best to get those hips down so our booties are not in the air. They're down, but they're also still lifted, which that sounds ridiculous, but it's the truth. Okay. Nice deep breaths. And we have our side lunge and reach. So reaching down, up, shift that weight. Make sure those toes are pointed forward, and we're sitting back into our hips. I love this move. We do too. All right, almost there, one more. All right, we have our 30-second break. We're gonna do that 2 more times. So now we have, go ahead and turn this up. Yeah, I thought that was quiet. We have 2 more rounds. So now that we've kind of got the moves down, focus a little bit more on that form, picking up that pace, going for that cardiovascular, goal, I guess. All right, set it up into our little mini chair squat. Step it out, bring it in. And of course, if you want to go ahead and take it up to the jumping jack, that'll give you a little bit more maximum cardio. And as you bring that back into your squat, every single time, squeeze your core. You got 3, 2, inchworm plank. Walking it out. Checking that high plank form. Spending a second or 2 down there. We have 3 more seconds into our side lunge and reach. Toes pointed forward, weight in your heels, sitting back in your hips. Chest is open, no hunched backs, no hunching back. Think about activating your upper back, squeezing those shoulder blades together. Almost there. All right, we only have 1 more round here. And it's starting to feel like a workout. Whew. Keep your body moving. Try your best not to sit down. I know you're feeling like, ooh, this is not what I want to be doing with my time. But we are close to being done. All right, set it up. Look, I'm right there with you. Let's do it. Keeping those shoulders down, getting those arms all the way up. Think about stretching that side body as your arms float, push up. Last one, into our inchworm for the last time. Getting those hips all the way down, abs squeezing, and set it up for our side lunge. Toes pointed forward. Sitting a little bit lower into that side lunge if you can, even that extra little inch. You have 10 more seconds. You're almost there. All right, just let it all go for a second. All right, so we have our next circuit. We have 45 seconds each move, so you have a little bit more time. But I'll be giving you a 15-second rest in between to give your time to set up, catch your breath, drink your water if you need to. So the first move we're going to do, I'm going to run through the moves first before we get into it. We will be doing a power squat. Now, if you do not feel confident in your squats, if you're feeling like, oh, I don't think I'm doing it right, what I want you to do is I want you to grab a chair. Grab a chair, or if you're in the living room, you're on a couch. All I want you to do is I want you to sit back into your chair and then power up and squeeze, all right? So even if you fall back into that chair, that's totally fine. All I want you to think about is making sure that form is correct. So I want your toes pointed forward. Your knees are in line with your toes. So and what I mean by that is I want to make sure as you go down, your knees stay in line with those toes. I don't want them to fall forward or inward or outward. I don't want your toes out. All right, and sometimes because if we're just starting out, sometimes our hamstrings are extra tight. So as we go down, our feet kind of turn out. So every single time I want you to replace and repeat, really fighting to kind of stretch those hamstrings and glutes out. All right. So as we squat down, our arms are going to come fly forward. Core is going to be squeezing, and we're going to power up, and then we're going to squeeze our booties at the top. All right. So we'll do that into a floor push-up. So we'll start on our bellies, like so, and from our knees, we're going to have our hands right underneath our armpits. We're going to lift our hands off of the floor. Shoulders are down and pulling back. So you should feel your shoulder blades on your back. From there, you're going to push your palms into the floor, and then you're going to big inhale, exhale, pushing through your palms, and also lifting through your core. Everybody thinks that push-ups are just your arms working. No, it is a full body core movement as well. So the more you can activate your mind in lifting that core, the easier the push-up becomes. So we're going to be doing that. And then we'll finish with a standing crunch twist. So your hands behind your head, we're going to twist as we lift and meet our opposite elbow to our knee. So twisting and lifting that leg. And even though that elbow is reaching towards that knee, I want you to think about that shoulder reaching towards that knee. So we're not just doing, it's not this, right? We're actually twisting from the shoulder towards that knee. All right? So let's go ahead and get the timer set. All right. So starting with our power squat, toes pointed forward, weight in your heels, shoulders back, abs in. Ready? We're going to slowly lower and then power up. Checking those toes every single time. And really think about keeping your weight in your heels at the bottom. So the more we can keep our weight in our heels, the more our core is activated. You have 10 more seconds. Whew. Check those toes, make sure they're pointed forward, knees in line, and relax. All right, so we have our push-ups. Oh, so sorry. Okay, we'll go this way. On our knees, hands underneath our armpits. Remember, we're gonna lift and then push. Big inhale, lift, exhale. As you push, keeping that chest open, shoulder blades on your back, and then a nice slow release to the ground as much as you can. If you have to fall, that is totally fine. All I care about today is activating that upper back, and then that big exhale as we push up. Belly button pulling in, up towards your spine. Think about your core lifting your hips for you. And time. Bring it up to your feet. We have a standing crunch. Whew, tired. All right. Elbows out and opposite shoulder to knee. Let's go. And think about driving that knee, powering it up, and exhaling every single time that knee comes up. Ten more seconds. Woo! That is always harder than I think it's going to be. All right, so we have a full 45-second break here. Grab your water, which I left over here. Let me go grab it. And keep your body up and moving. We're going to repeat this one more time. So we're only doing these strength circuits 2 times through. So that's the good news. The bad news is you still got to do it. So, all right, ready? We're starting with our power squat. Toes pointed forward, weight in your heels, abs squeezing, lower, power up and squeeze. Checking those toes every single time, and even making that a goal to wiggle your toes at the bottom to remind yourself to keep that weight in your heels. You're almost there. Last one, power up and squeeze. Perfect. All right, back down to our floor push-up. Starting on your belly. Remember using that breath. Inhale, exhale. Every exhale, drawing that belly button in, up towards your spine. Keeping your chest open, shoulder blades on your back. You're almost there. Try your best to give me one more. And 15 seconds before we have our standing twist. Ugh, I hate that one. All right. But it's so good for you. All right. Hands behind our head. Powering up through your knees. Wringing out that breath. Keeping those elbows out. Try your best not to bend or rotate that elbow. Woo. 5, 4, 3. All right, as you rest, I will walk you through our next circuit. We have a deadlift. Now these are tricky. It's a lot to think about, so stay with me. Your feet are going to be shoulder width apart, or hip width apart. Your knees are going to remain bent. And again, in line with your toes. Think about, we've all seen the deadlift, yeah? A lot of people think that it's, I'm leaning forward. That's the move. I lean forward. That's not the move. It is your hips that are, it's all in the hips. If you're, you know, that whole thing. So it's all in the hips. You want to make sure, so think about something hitting your hips. It's hinging your hips back, which causes you to lean forward, all right? So as our hips hinge back, we're going to keep that weight into our heels. Our knees remain bent. Our upper body leans forward as a result. Our back remains flat. Our shoulder blades are squeezing towards one another. And then we reset and repeat. So we're kicking those hips back and then bringing them forward. All right? So the biggest thing to remember is to make sure that it's from your hips. We're not just leaning forward. All right? From there, we'll get into a side plank. We have a couple options here. Option 1, side plank. Elbow underneath that shoulder. From your knees, your feet are pushed back. We're going to lower and then lift lower, and then lift. Make sure your hips are stacked. That's option one. Option two is to have our top foot in front, bottom in back, and then lifting like so. Option three is to have those feet stacked, but again, go at your own pace. We're gonna do half our time on one side, and we'll switch sides halfway through, and then we're going to finish with a shuffle touch. So a little cardio movement. We're gonna step, step, reach down. Step, step, reach down. So it's a step, step if you are keeping it low impact and we're not jumping at all, or you can make it a little shuffle. But all I care about is making sure that as you reach down, you're getting nice and low into a nice wide squat, right? Whew, we only have 2 more rounds and we are complete. Let me go ahead and set up our timer. And let's get it going. All right, so starting with our deadlift. No weight, all we're gonna do is trace our legs down, shoulders back, knees are bent, hinging those hips back, tracing those legs down, and then power up and squeeze. Keeping that weight in your heels. Keeping those knees bent. Shoulders are down and pulling back. Chest remains open. So this should feel like a nice deep stretch right there in the hamstrings. Almost there. All right, let's drop it down to the floor for our side plank. I'm gonna do option one with you today. Elbows underneath our shoulder. Make sure it's not out here. We wanna make sure as we press up that it is perfectly in line with our shoulder. All right, let's lower and lift. You should feel a nice little pinch right there. Got it, and still pulling in, still staying engaged. One more, and let's switch sides. Ooh, ooh. Almost there. 3. Oh. Okay. All right. We have our shuffle touch. I'm tired. Starting in 3, 2, 2 shuffles, getting nice and low, shuffle, nice and low in that squat, keeping your chest open, abs squeezing as you reach down. The ultimate goal is to get that hand down to the ground. And if you want to challenge yourself, think up, up, down, up, up, down. Woo. Your legs should be tired because mine are. 3, 2, and check it out. Oh, my legs look like Jello. All right, so we have one more round and we are done. There it is. 30 more seconds. And we're gonna repeat this whole thing. Let me go ahead and run over that deadlift form one more time. This one is tricky. Feet shoulder width apart, knees stay bent. Remember, it's the hips that are being pushed back. Think about it, there's like a button that you gotta push on the wall behind you with your butt, right? So pushing that as we trace our hands down, keeping those shoulders back, and then power up, let's go. Ooh. Weight is in your heels. Almost there. Oh! Okay. Oh, I hate that. Okay. Down to the ground for our side plank. Now, if from your knees was a little bit too easy, I want you to try stacking those feet. And you can always use this top hand to help you. If you need a little bit more support, it's that in between the knees and the feet. Woo. 5, 4, 3, 2, other side. You're almost there, and you're almost done. Oh my gosh. Okay. We have our shuffle touch to finish us off nicely. Woo, get ready, get set. Up, up, down. Almost there, halfway through, over halfway through. Last 10. Up, up, down, up, up, and walk it out. Oh, that sucks. Thank you. Grab some water. Towel off if you need to. That concludes day 1. I'm going to link a 5-minute post stretch. Always, 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 always stretch after your workout. Get your body heart rate back to its normal resting state before you move on with your day. Thank you so much for joining me today and trying this day 1. I hope you stick around for the full program. You can do this workout, this program every single day for 5 days in a row. Let me know how you do today. Subscribe if you haven't already, and like this video if you did enjoy it. And yeah, thanks for choosing to work out with me today, and hopefully I will see you right here again tomorrow.